the blow that sends the Rangers packing for season's end. But those of you who have followed these guys all year, you know better. This team has weathered the loss of Josh Hamilton, Ian Kinsler, Kevin Millwood, and Frankie Francisco along the way. And here they are, still in the thick of the postseason chase. While Michael is the heart and soul of this team, he'd be the first to say this team has a collective soul and a heart that's responded to adversity with strength. See it on display as the Rangers take on the Toronto Blue Jays next. Speed at the top of the lineup for the Rangers tonight. Julio Bourbon gets at it, and the Rangers are making all kinds of adjustments now with Michael Young out of the lineup for a couple of weeks. That part begins in earnest tonight as the Rangers and Blue Jays play ball. The Rangers did gain a game and a half on the Angels yesterday and a half a game on the Red Sox in pursuit of the wild card in the American League. We welcome you to Texas Ranger Baseball. Along with Tom Grieve, I'm Josh Lewin. The Michael Young injury, obviously unfortunate. It does kind of domino some things up and down that Ranger lineup.
Yeah, a lot of different people are affected in different ways. One guy that will be affected is Elvis Andrus. He's going to go from the bottom of the order to the top of the order. And I think a lot of people expect this to happen. Maybe not quite this soon, but he's had a lot of good at-bats. He should be able to handle it. Ian's going to bat third tonight. He's certainly capable of being a third-place hitter. In fact, he looks like one. Chris Davis will go from first base over to third, where he's very comfortable. Not a big change for him. Omar Vizquel will probably get a lot more playing time, and Hank Blaylock is going to get a lot of time at first base now. So a lot of guys affected by that injury. Going to miss Michael, but as you said, they have to pick up the slack.
Michael's never missed more than 2 games in a row as a Texas Ranger since he's been a starter, and now he's going to miss 2 weeks. So we'll talk more about that and that whole dynamic as we get going tonight. Tommy Hunter's on the mound, and that's good news. He has been a big game guy for the Rangers. Texas and Toronto first pitch coming up next. Ranger fans, well, some of the ones that haven't been willing to stay with the program the entire year, I'm sure it's exhausting, jumping on and off that bandwagon, climbing on, climbing off. There are so many twists and turns on this road, and every time it seems like the Rangers are ready to cash out, they don't. And what a great example yesterday. The Rangers, having lost 18-10 on Monday, won 5-2 twice yesterday. And now everything is rosy again. The Rangers are within 3.5 in the wild card, 4.5 in the West. And the only thing that, again, is making things a little bit wheels off right now, the thought of going forward without Michael Young for a couple of weeks. The Rangers continue to do what they need to do. And defensively, things are certainly changing. Not so much in the outfield, although Marlon Byrd gets the rest tonight. But there's that new look in the infield. Davis, who has been playing third in AAA this year. And Pudge Rodriguez, boy, for a guy who was only supposed to play once or twice a week, Tag, this is 11 games that he's been in now of the last 13.
I think Pudge came over with a perfect attitude, excited about being here, almost rejuvenated in a certain way. And he's played so well that Ron hasn't been able to keep him out of the lineup.
Well, and you see the smile hasn't left the face of Ron Washington. He's got the same demeanor as when the Rangers had themselves a little 3-game losing streak. It's a 2-game win streak that they come in with tonight. But he still trusts his guys, even without Michael Young, for the next couple of weeks. And we'll talk more about Michael and his prognosis in just a bit. But first, the Toronto batting order with Scutaro, Hill, and, boy, the amazing Adam Lind. 6 homers in 6 games at this ballpark this year. Overbay and Barajas, Ruiz and Snyder, Bautista and McDonald. And we got to talk some Tommy Hunter right now. Last time out against Minnesota, done in by a tough first inning. But for the year, a 2.95 ERA. You can't ask for better than that.
Nope, he's been pitching extremely well. He looks like he's been in the big leagues for 5 years the way he's pitching like an experienced veteran. 5 wins since the All-Star break. Opponent's average first time through the order is a little bit higher than it is the second time through the order. A lot of times we'll show that same statistic and it'll be the exact opposite. In Tommy's case, he gets better, and that's a nice thing to see. Last game was a perfect example of that. He's allowed only 26 runs this year, Tag, 10 of them in the first inning. All other innings combined, 16 runs for Tommy Hunter. That's pretty good. Against Minnesota, it was 3 in the first and then 6 shutout innings. The Rangers lost that game 3-2. But Tommy kept him right in the game after a bad first inning.
An unusual game for Scutaro yesterday, actually twice, in that he did not reach base in either game. It's the first time all year he failed to reach base in back-to-back games. It happened to be on the same day.
And you know, those are two low-scoring games, 2 close games, 5-2. And you keep Scutaro off the base in both games of a doubleheader. That's the key to beating the Blue Jays right there.
That's a great start for Tommy Hunter. And yeah, Scutaro has been the kickstart mechanism for Toronto all year. It's a great looking curve from Tommy.
Well, it's a little bit of everything. Fastball, changeup, and his curveball.
Now Aaron Hill, a power threat.
You want Hill to bat with nobody on base. That's why getting Scutaro is so important. And you certainly want Lind to hit with a minimum amount of men on base. He's the primary threat in their lineup, both these guys.
Hill, if you just look at total bases, he leads the American League. Adam Lind is third, with Robinson Cano at number 2. I mean, I would have thought Teixeira, Justin Morneau, David Ortiz in a good year, but Hill and Cano, 2 second basemen, are the top 2 guys in the American League, and then the guy on deck, Adam Lind.
Well, the Yankee lineup is so strong. Cano hits 7th. There's a lot of teams that Cano could hit 3rd for. Lind probably could hit 3rd himself.
Taking it 3-1 to Hill.
Lind is not a huge on base percentage guy. Lind is a .304 hitter. He's walked 47 times. He's a bigger on base percentage guy than Hill.
Tommy Hunter got him to pop it up. I'll go back into the crowd.
Hill's only walked 30 times, so he's hitting .287. His on-base percentage is .324. Lind hitting a little bit higher, walks a little bit more. Solid on-base percentage of about .365, .370. We're just having big years, boy. Two good hitters. Lind hit some good pitches in this series.
Yeah, the 8 RBI game, that 18-run uprising for Toronto, which, I mean, it's such a bizarre thing when you look at the number of runs they've been scoring otherwise. That's the walk to Hill. Look at their last 8 days here, Tom, and 3 runs, 2 runs, 5 runs, 3 runs, 0. Then the 18-run explosion, and then a pair of 2s.
Yeah, and there's no explanation for that. It's just that's a fluke that happens in 162 games. And unfortunately, they picked that night to have it. That was against the Rangers.
Well, again, the identical 5-2 scores yesterday. A big help as the Rangers get right back in the race. And 2 guys competing to be the number 5 starter. Both went 6 innings. They both won 5-2. The 6'7" McCarthy and the 6'8" Nippert. They were equally as impressive.
Yeah, and if you're going to pick your starter for the next start from those 2 guys, by the way they pitched last night, I don't know that you could pick one over the other.
How do you break the tie?
Then I think you probably break the tie. Which one would be better suited to being in the bullpen? And if that's what does break the tie, then Dustin probably is better suited to being in the bullpen right now. But we'll wait and let the Rangers make those decisions. It's a nice decision to have. Try to choose from 2 guys that pitch great.
Got one email yesterday suggesting talent show.
Talent show?
Yeah. Whoever wins the talent show gets to be the, or have a dance off or something like that.
Yeah, the other thing you could do is what they do in the minor leagues. One guy starts and goes 5, and the other guy finishes it and goes 4. Probably not as likely to see that in the big leagues, however.
Also probably not likely to see the dance off.
Probably not.
Nippert was throwing that curveball for strikes at will yesterday, and he said after the game he probably threw 1 curveball for a strike in New York. But he was getting ahead with the curveball to set up the fastball yesterday, and that was huge.
Yep, he had good command of his fastball, too. He couldn't throw that for a strike in New York either. But again, that's one game that stands out. Kind of a fluke. Doesn't have anything leading up to it or now after it that would lead you to believe that would be the case.
Boy, somebody get the hose to cool off Adam Lind. Around comes Hill. He's going to score, and Adam Lind has driven in 11 runs in this series. It's another first inning run allowed by Tommy Hunter.
There's one guy in the lineup that you can't make that pitch to, and that's Adam Lind. He hung on the curveball, belt high and right down the middle of the plate. And when you throw that pitch to him, you're going to get hurt. And you can see it right in the center square. And you know, if there's one guy in the lineup that probably won't miss that pitch, you just threw it to him. A lot of other guys are going to hit it too, but not as often.
I think he looks facially so much like Scott Rowland, the guy they just got rid of. They used to hit behind him. He's now got 44 doubles this year to go with his 28 home runs. I guarantee you there's not a lot of people playing fantasy baseball that when the draft was being held back in March jumped up and grabbed Adam Lind.
Probably not.
A 2-0 now to Overbay.
Well, the first inning so far is a little bit like the first inning in Minnesota, although it started differently. Scudero took strike 3 in a curveball, but since that time to Hill and Lind anyway, and now Overbay,
who punches it into right. So again, Tommy Hunter's first inning foibles are apparent. Blaylock's going to cut this off. Got a shot down there at second. Nicely done.
That's a way to pick up and out by a good throw from the outfield. No chance to throw him out at the plate, but no damage done if you hit the cutoff man. You throw it over the cutoff man's head, then he goes to second base. You hit the cutoff man, lure him into going by throwing home, and you pick up and out.
So now it's 12 out of 28 runs this year allowed by Tommy have been in the first inning, about half. Now last play scored 9-3 to 6, by the way. Jack Morris had a heck of a career, including a little bit for these Toronto Blue Jays. And he was a guy that always seemed to be hit relatively hard in the first inning and would have a lot of smooth sailing after that. So whether or not this is something that follows Tommy Hunter throughout his career, we have no idea. But even if it does, there have been guys that have been, kind of known to take 20 pitches before they settle in. Towering fly ball from Barajas. Toronto begins with 2. That was their grand total in both the games yesterday and the doubleheader, but they've got the 2-0 jump tonight. Nothing. And the Rangers without Michael Young, not just for tonight, but for a couple of weeks, it would appear, getting ready to take their cuts against Scott Richmond, the native Canadian, on the mound for the Canadian baseball team in the big leagues. Only one now that the Montreal Expos have gone away. Bourbon's back in the lineup because there is a righty on the mound tonight. Then it's Andrews and Kinsler, Hamilton part of that new look lineup. Cruz, Murphy, Pudge, Blaylock, Davis. We'll tell you all you need to know about Scott Richmond in just a sec. First, Bourbon is going to take up and outside.
Having a good season. He's 6-7. A lot of strikeouts, 97 in 106 innings. He spent some time on the disabled list. He had bicep tendonitis and missed a month. Since he's come back, he hasn't pitched that well, trying to get back in the swing of things. His ERA is close to 7. Went to Oklahoma State.
Bourbon right into center field right away.
Prior to signing with the Blue Jays, he pitched 3 years of independent league ball. He's 30 years old, pitched on the Olympic team. So he's been around a little bit.
Well, yeah, I mean, a fascinating journey. Born in Vancouver, Canada. He's a citizen, actually, of New Zealand via his dad. And as you said, he's a graduate of Oklahoma State.
He has been around. He's a pretty good pitcher, too.
Well, and it's funny. Yesterday, Tom, we were talking about how come you never hear about finesse righties. And actually, Scott Richmond is probably the closest one we can point to between these two teams. Undrafted out of college. 3 years, as you said, in that independent Northern League, playing for the Edmonton Cracker Cats. And it's more about location and changing speeds. He's not going to blow you away.
Pitched a good game against the Rangers back in April. 6 innings, gave up a couple of runs, 2 walks, and struck out 8 in that game. A good slider in that game. Prior to going on the disabled list with that bicep tendonitis, he was 6-5 with a 3.69 ERA. Right-hand hitters have only hit 200. Left-hand hitters have hit 302.
Well, the Rangers run right away with Julio Bourbon. He's got 11 steals. All of those last month. And I'm looking, Tom, at what the Rangers have now, 1 through 6 in this lineup tonight. The stolen base totals: 11, 24 from Andrews, 28 from Kinsler, 8 from Hamilton, 17 from Cruz, 7 from Murphy. It's been a long time since you could stack 6 base stealing threats all in a row for the Rangers.
That's for sure.
There goes Bourbon. Looper caught by Hill. And that's a double play.
Hit that ball a foot higher, and it's first and third and nobody out. Now there's 2 outs and nobody on.
Hill known for his range at second base anyway, and he had to get on the trampoline right there. And nothing you can do if you're Bourbon.
That was a good try by Elvis too. He's made contact on a good pitch. Almost served a nice little first and third with no outs.
Kinsler had a homer in his first at bat in the doubleheader yesterday. Up to 29 for the year. He and Nelly Cruz both at 29, so the race is on. Who's going to get to the big 3-0 first? Again, the Rangers gained a game and a half yesterday in the AL West. And tonight the Angels are playing in Seattle. They've got Scott Kazmir making his Angel debut tonight. How about scoreless in the 7th inning of that one? The Angels and the Mariners. The news is good from Tampa Bay. The Red Sox are trailing 5-1 in that one after 3. High fly ball towards center. And Bautista's got it. And a leadoff hit from Bourbon fails to blossom. 2-0 Toronto after 1.
Welcome back to the ballpark. Texas trailing Toronto 2-0. We head to the second, and Josh and Tom in Community Corner tonight. We have Kim Christian with A Wish with Wings. Tell us about this fine organization.
A Wish with Wings is a 501(c) nonprofit agency that grants the wishes of Texas children diagnosed with life-threatening diseases.
Excellent. And you have a lot of people on hand tonight. And for those who want to get involved, they see the number as well as the website on the screen. Keep up the great work. Nice meeting you.
Thank you so much.
All right, Josh.
Thank you, Jim. Appreciate it. There it is. Wishwithwings.org. Randy Ruiz bounces out. And again, that's not Michael Young at third base. That is Chris Davis for now. The Rangers have a bunch of different opportunities, I guess, to replace Michael, at least in body over there at third base. You can go with Davis. You can go with Omar Vizquel. Esteban Herman is an option. Not too long ago, Hank Blaylock certainly would have been an option. But Hank has been playing exclusively first base and DHing. here in 2009. And I guess the thought is you don't want to just suddenly toss Hank over there right now on September 2nd.
Well, Chris has been playing there in AAA. He's played 23 games there in AAA, so he's very suited to going over there. I think what Ron might do is play matchups depending on a right-hand pitcher or left-hand pitcher, who the other guys are that might get opportunities to play as well.
You saw Jarrett Saltalamacchia hanging out in the Ranger dugout, and he has been activated now. He's going to wait until after the season is done to have the thoracic outlet syndrome surgery, if indeed that's needed. The Rangers also hoping to get Andrew Jones back in the fold pretty soon. He's on that rehab assignment at AA. Trying to work out that hamstring problem. By the way, we're going to chat with Michael Young face to face regarding his hamstring issue in the 4th inning, we're told tonight. Appreciate Michael agreeing to do that and let all the fans know exactly what's going on. Bautista up over top.
Good fastball, jammed him after that little curveball fooled him.
After a 20-pitch first inning where 2 runs scored, that's a 7-pitch second inning for Tommy Hunter. And it stays 2-0 Toronto. Toronto struck for 2 in the top of the first. Here we go to the bottom of the second, and you can follow the Rangers on your iPhone and iPod Touch with MLB.com. Go to TexasRangers.com on your iPhone or iPod Touch to get At Bat 2009. That dude's doing it right now.
He's got a glove, too, just in case a ball comes his way. They're both ready.
Trying to zero in on Josh Hamilton's at bat here. Josh had gone 2 months hitting just 2 home runs in that time, and then he went 2 at bats yesterday and cranked 2 home runs. And we should point out he had a home run off of Scott Richmond in Toronto back in April. Rangers also have one from Chris Davis in that game. This time Richmond gets him, his first strikeout of the night. He struck out 8 Rangers in that game that you mentioned earlier.
Well, we talked about since he's come off the disabled list, he's pitched 4 times. His ERA is .685, but he struck out 26 batters in those last 21 innings. And on the season, he's got 97 strikeouts in 106 innings coming into the game. Well, he's got a solid average fastball, anywhere from 89 to 91, and a good slider. I think slider's his best pitch. He knows how to pitch. Early in his big league career, but not early in his baseball career.
No, he was. I mean, during that time that we talked about him in that independent league in Edmonton, I mean, he would go home. He was loading cargo at the harbor in Vancouver. And he says if he hadn't learned the changeup, if he hadn't refined the slider, he'd still be loading cargo in Vancouver. Nelly Cruz with the second Ranger hit. It brings up David Murphy.
I'm going with a call early.
For Murph?
Yep.
Right on.
I want to get back in this game right off the bat. So any way that I can help send some good karma down there to David, I'm going to try to do it right now. Not saving it.
I don't know if there's any psychology to it. It seems like you and I have been a little reticent about.
I don't usually go first inning.
No, well, and I think
Second inning.
because the games have all had that big game feel, the last month or so. We haven't been, just kind of tossing out calls willy-nilly.
No. But
I hope you're right.
You shouldn't leave your call on the bench, though. That's kind of the golden rule of this game.
No, you don't go to halftime with a timeout in your pocket. You shouldn't leave a call behind either.
There's that good changeup. You know it's a good changeup when a pitcher throws it belt high and right down the middle, and the hitter's out in front of it and doesn't make contact. That's a pretty good idea that it's fooled the hitter.
That's the pitch he learned that last year in Edmonton. They gave him a shot. Cito Gaston in charge of these Blue Jays, and they are a season worst 24.5 out now in the AL East. Check swing, it's down and in. Again, the Rangers swept the Cito Gastons yesterday. In fact, the last 4 doubleheaders that have been played here at this ballpark, Tag, the Rangers have swept them all.
Wow.
2 for 2 doing that this year. Well, that's why I'm here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Murphy takes outside, and not the home run that you wished for, but you got to walk.
Okay, I'll take the base runner.
You appear happier about it than Cito does. Pudge Rodriguez, and that elicits quite an ovation, as always. Again, Pudge was quite on board with the initial plan. If he was going to consent to being traded over here from Houston, there was a discussion. Pudge was told, look, the plan is you'd play once or twice a week. He said, I'm fine. I'll do that. But I think quietly, Pudge figured I might just play my way into a bigger role. And sure enough, he has. And behind the plate, he's already caught 2 4-hit shutouts. It's only been here a couple of weeks.
Pretty good. Well, ahead in the count, 2 balls and no strikes right here. Good spot to get a good pitch to hit. Pudge drives it. Good chance it'll be to right center field. A little over anxious right there.
And again, the fastball is 88, 89-ish for Richmond. As long as we're on the pitching topic, we should congratulate Scott Feldman, Tag, named the Rangers Player of the Month for August. He had an undefeated month with an ERA of about 2.8. I guess it was between the 2 Fs, Feldman and Felice. Couldn't have gone wrong with either pick.
can't remember all the players and exactly what they did, but I know Michael Young had a good August. Tough to go against someone who was 5-0 in the month, though.
Feldman gets the start in Baltimore coming up after the off day tomorrow.
Going to lay off that slider.
That's some good news just in from Safeco Field. As you can see, the Mariners just grabbed a 1-0 lead on Scott Kazmir. The Rangers have come to within 4.5 in the West again. And the thank you card goes to Billy Hall, who just drove in that run for Seattle. Taken. It's called a third strike on the inside edge.
He threw him a slider. I don't know if he was trying to throw it there on the inside corner. But it ended up being pretty effective. And he caught the upper part of the strike zone. Generally, a right-hand pitcher to a right-hand hitter will try to throw that slider on the outside part of the plate. So whether it was intentionally thrown there or not, it turned out to be an effective pitch.
Hank Blaylock starting just the second game of the last 10 for the Rangers. While Chris Davis was down at AAA, Blaylock started 43 games in a row. And welcome back, Hammer. Dropping it into left field. The Rangers on the board. It's 2-1.
Just love those 2-out base hits to drive in a run.
Especially when you're not trying to do too much. Just kind of go with it. Lift it to the opposite field. We have not seen a lot of that from Hank Blaylock this year. Seen a lot of big swings designed on jerking the ball out of here to right.
Chris has been swinging the bat well. Nice guy to have up there, batting 9th in your lineup. Guy with a chance to drive the ball out of the ballpark.
I'm going to pick you up here, partner. You did not get your call from Murphy, but I'm
go right here.
I'm in on Chris Davis.
I was trying to give you a little hint there. We want to get on the board quick. Good ball to lay off of.
Davis has made a mild couple of adjustments, and you'll notice it how he's opened up just a little, not a lot, but that front foot pointing a little bit towards the second baseman now. He's also not nearly as upright as he used to be, just a little bit of a knee flex. And Rudy Jaramillo was absolutely involved in everything that was going on with the so-called retooling of Chris Davis down at AAA. Minor league hitting coordinator, AAA hitting coach, and Rudy would have kind of three-way discussions about what to do with Chris Davis. But all those guys involved, all of the teachers, said basically the same thing. That Chris Davis was just an entirely willing pupil. I mean, he went down there fully knowing he had to do something. And he became a blank slate on which to draw. Line to foul into the crowd. A gathering crowd here in Arlington tonight. It's a dollar hot dog night this evening. Nice night for baseball. Got 88 degrees right now, a little bit of a wind. Blaylock will get moving. Davis down on strikes. Rangers do get one run back. 2-1 Toronto at the end of 2.
We head to the third. 2-1, Toronto leading Texas. Josh and Tom, I have John White of Chevrolet in the house tonight. Also, big night because you got to throw out the first pitch. What was that like?
That was pretty exciting. I have to, you're so tense as you go out there, not try and hope that you don't bounce it in, and made it over the plate just a little high.
90 mile an hour, not bad.
It was. That was my breaking ball, too.
There we go. Now, a lot of big happenings for Chevrolet. You got a couple of new cars coming out.
We've got the 2010 Camaro that's been out. That's just been red hot. And even better, we have now a 2010 Equinox that is just selling great. Gets 32 miles per gallon, best in its class. And it gets 600 miles on a tank of gas.
And the nice thing about the 6 shooters, of course, come out in the Chevrolet Silverado.
The Silverado, that's the tried and true, longest lasting, most dependable truck. We've got something for everybody.
There we go. All right, John, nice meeting you, and a nice first pitch. That's the way to do it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Josh.
We appreciate the folks at Chevy. Thank you, Jim. Tommy Hunter to John McDonald, who's just going to reach out and poke one with 2 strikes on him. Back goes Kinsler. He's got it. There is no question the defense, the fact that it has improved so much for the Rangers, has helped every other element here in 2009. It has helped the team ERA be its best since 1992. I think it's offset the fact that the Rangers are not getting on base nearly as much as we're used to seeing. They're not scoring as much as we're used to seeing. And the Rangers going forward without a guy who has been rock solid at third base. Of course, has been a leader in the clubhouse and swinging the bat so well all year. Michael Young out for a couple of weeks. We're still anticipating chatting with Michael in the 4th inning tonight.
Give Scudero a good assortment of off-speed pitches to him. A cutter for strike 1 and a curveball on the outside for strike 2. And the fastball to end it.
Well, he gets ahead 0-2 on both hitters so far here in the inning, McDonald and Scudero. And polishes both of them off with Kinsler making the play. Rangers and Mariners coming up in, well, about a week and a half. And both teams will recognize the heritage of their Hispanic players with a pregame ceremony Saturday, September 12th. The first 20,000 fans receive a poster commemorating the night, sponsored by AT&T. To purchase your tickets, go to TexasRangers.com, or you can call 972-RANGERS. Rangers will have the 3 games against Seattle that weekend, and the Oakland A's come in. Oh, and then the Angels come in. That's September 19th weekend. Angels and Mariners having at it. Thank you, Seattle. 2-0 in the 8th. And Boston still losing in Tampa Bay. That one is 5-3 in the 4th. Hill will send one foul. Hard hit.
Tommy got away with one there. It was a high changeup on the inside part of the plate. Fortunately, Hill was way out in front of it, pulled the foul.
Tommy made his big league debut against these Toronto Blue Jays last August. Roars right in and strikes out Aaron Hill. So after allowing the 2 runs in the first, that's 7 straight hitters set down by big game Hunter. 2-1 Toronto. Ranger Baseball brought to you by Geico, also by AT&T, and by Extract from the creator of Office Space. September 4th. Here on September 2nd, Toronto leading 2-1, and Bourbon's going to bunt. Richmond is ready for it.
Just didn't get it by the pitcher. If he pulls that ball to where the first baseman has to field it, then he beats it out, but just didn't get quite far enough toward first. Good try, though.
Now Elvis Andrus, who has a 5-game hitting streak going. That batting average, I think, fairly consistently, Tag, has been somewhere in that 260 to 270 range for Elvis.
Pretty much.
As promised this year. And I know there were a lot of skeptics out there. The guy's 20 years old, hasn't played above Double-A. He's been great. 2 up, 2 down very quickly here in the 3rd inning. Brings up Kinsler. Some quick get well wishes, Tag, we got to send out to our good buddy Richard Durrett from the Dallas Morning News.
What's up there?
A strep throat, we're told, by a couple of emailers, and we're asked to send him get well wishes from his fellow bloggers and fans. So, Rich man, feel better.
About that, Richard.
Ice cream, lots of ice cream, makes the throat feel better.
If it's contagious, I hope I don't see it till it's better. No. Get well soon, Richard.
That's right from the heart, wasn't it, Jack?
No, he knows it's good natured.
Kinsler was batting leadoff, of course, yesterday, and led off with a home run for the 7th time this year. Only Ranger ever to do that. 7 leadoff home runs in one season. The old record was 6 by David DeLucci, who was a Toronto Blue Jay not too long ago. David cemented his spot in Ranger lore the last time the Rangers were making a push for the postseason. He had that dramatic walk-off double in a September game against the Oakland A's. That ball laced towards that dugout, and that'll scatter him. Hut, hut, hut.
That must have hit Joe Inglet through the screen.
Yeah, leaning up against the screen.
Right,
He still
right
got
in
it.
the leg. There's our man Brian Talent right there. I wonder if he's got the same pants on as last night.
Got the same sideburns working. We know that. A drive to right from Kinsler at the wall and caught. A 1-2-3 inning, and it stays 2-1. Bert Blyleven's shtick.
All right. There you go.
I think there are copyright issues now.
Bert won't mind it for one.
Happy birthday, Jacob. And the Rangers and Blue Jays move on to the 4th inning.
That's a great sign. Look at that little guy.
As promised, we're going to talk a little bit more about the Michael Young injury situation. It's horrible that there is such a situation to discuss, but who better to talk to about said situation than the guy with the situation. Michael Young is going to join us here in just a moment. Tommy Hunter deals to the red-hot Adam Lind. Michael, you have not missed more than 2 games in a row since April of 2002. This has got to be killing you.
Yeah, appreciate the reminder. Thanks, Josh. Yeah, it's tough. I have Kevin Millwood throwing pumpkin seeds at me. I have to get used to what life is like when you sit down and watch a game. I've already made Derek Holland my personal water boy, so I'm kind of getting used to things here slowly but surely.
Well, and there's Davis stealing your thunder by making a nice running catch. You would have done that, but you're not available tonight.
Yeah, it's all right. Like I said, I mean, I know I'm going to be out for a couple of weeks, and you know, there's 2 ways I could look at this. I can sit here and pout about it, or I can dedicate myself to my rehab and get back on the field as quickly as possible. So that's what I'm going to do.
What, Mike, had you felt any tightness in your leg before the injury happened, right before you got to first base?
No, that's what was so weird about it. I mean, I've never had a hamstring problem in my life. I've never had a cramp. I've never had, you know, nothing. And, you know, I hit a ground ball. I was kind of, I knew I had a chance maybe to beat it out for a hit, and I was just getting it down the line. And, you know, just kind of grabbed me probably about 75% of the way down the line. It kind of grabbed me.
Boy, Lyle Overbay, and that ball did not get out by much, but right to the deepest part of the yard. 407 mark out there. And he is now driven in 2 of the Toronto 3 runs tonight. As the Blue Jays reestablish a 2-run lead, it's 3-1. The 14th of the year for Overbay. A pretty quick swing right there, Tag. Just kind of rifled it right through the zone.
What kind of things do you do these days for a hamstring, Michael? Is there any new techniques that they can get you back out on the field quicker?
Well, the thing I had today apparently was something that's relatively new. They took 60 cc's of my own blood out, and they spun it, had about 1,000 revolutions, and apparently some of the heavy protein from that blood, some of the really thick stuff, they just shoot it right back into my hamstring, and apparently that's supposed to shave off a lot of the recovery time, which is something I was obviously looking to do. And apart from that, it's just going to be a lot of ice right now, stretching, and in a couple of days it's going to be hopping on a stationary bike, treadmill, and just getting kind of back to where I can move like I want to.
Good.
Did you ever even heard of a blood platelet injection before today?
I had. Nelly had it. See that shot?
Yeah.
Millie's good at it. He's really good at this.
Well, his location's been good all year.
But Nelly had it apparently last year when he was in AAA, and he said it worked wonders for him. You know, and I have heard about it, and I trust Dr. Meister and Jamie. They said this was a good option for me to consider. And the second they said this, that would shave off some recovery time, I was completely down with it.
Randy Ruiz with that single in the center. And Mike, obviously the one thing that keeps popping up here, and your unfortunate situation, I think, just stands to be the latest example. This team, so incredibly resilient, no matter what happens. Kinsler goes out, Hambone goes out. Now you go out for a little bit. No matter what the issue is, you guys find a way to fight through it.
Yeah, that's what good teams do. I mean, we can't sit here and complain about injuries. I mean, Grant, I'm obviously more disappointed than anybody.
Well, that was a good shot right there.
I think that's all he's got. I'm more disappointed than anybody. I mean, I've been here for a long time, and this is the part of the season I was really, really looking forward to, where I can really have an impact on the stretch drive here. But like I said, I mean, the good news is when I left the ballpark yesterday, I thought my season was over. I heard that pop in my hamstring, and I thought it was done. I had good news today, knowing that I'll be back for the last 2 weeks. So, you know, like you said, I mean, I fully expect the boys to keep playing hard and to keep winning games. And when I get back, I'm going to be ready to go full tilt.
Oh, you've had their back, and now it's their turn to have yours. Real quick, Mike, you got a real nice honor, the nomination for the Roberto Clemente Award. That must mean a lot to you.
Yeah, it does. I mean, you know, for one, I mean, it's a family award. My wife is incredibly active in the community. Obviously, when the season starts, my focus is on what I have to do on the field. And you know, over 6 months, over at least 6 months, I have to really commit myself to playing the best baseball I can, and it gets pretty tough to go out there and overextend myself. But my wife really buckles down and makes sure she's very instrumental in the community. Makes it a lot of fun for me to be a part of it. And it's a family award, but like you said, based on the person who this award was named after, it's a really humbling honor. A Hall of Fame player, and one of baseball's great humanitarians. So it's very humbling.
Travis Snyder with that foul ball, thankfully a foul ball. And, well, yeah, Mike, I mean, between what you guys do with the Wipe Out Kids Cancer and you and Christina with the triple play event, which we sure appreciate so much, it's an honor that's well deserved. So congrats on the nomination again.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Michael Young visiting with us as the Rangers in Toronto have at it here in the fourth. And Tommy Hunter. Real quick, Slick, if you don't mind, I mean, with Hunter, and you've already mentioned Derek Holland, I know you've got a real affection for these guys. They're young guys that just, boy, they give you everything they got.
They do. And, you know, for me, I try not to give too much praise on rookies. It's just the way it is, in my opinion. It's just the way it should be. But I give these guys a lot of credit for doing things the right way. And they got up here. They were prepared. They competed. And they're doing anything they can to help us win ball games. And in the clubhouse, they act like the way rookies should, and that's to their credit. And you know, we have a good group of guys here, a good group of veterans, and our young kids that fit in really well, and they deserve a lot of credit for that.
Where did that come from, by the way? That opinion about rookies should be seen and not heard. Were you one of those guys when you came up that knew your place?
That was about 100 years ago that started.
Yeah, I think it was. Well, when I came in, I was the only young guy on the team. It was. You know, our lineup was, you know, Pudgy, Caminiti, Alex, Galarraga, Rafi, Rusty, Bill Hasselman, Gabe Kapler, Frank Catalanato. It was a very veteran team, and I was the only young guy, so that was really the only way for me to do it at the time. And I'm not saying you make a young guy's life miserable, but at the same time, I think it's every veteran's responsibility to make sure that the young guys appreciate where they're at.
Well, and now Michael Young is a veteran, and has led this Ranger team to where they are right now. Again, the news today, Michael's going to be out for what appears to be a couple of weeks. How flexible is that timetable, in your opinion, Mike? I mean, could it be a little less? I mean, have they said anything to you like it could be?
That's the way I'm going to approach it. I mean, that's just kind of a standard thing right now. Obviously, after the shot I had today, I'm really sore, and I'm not going to think about playing anytime soon as far as the next couple of days or the next week. But in my mind, I'm going to get out there as soon as I can. I'm not taking this as a 3-week thing. I'm taking it as a week-to-week deal. I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to be incredibly aggressive in my rehab. And
Andrews recovers here. Got it. Yes, he did.
Thank you very much.
We were going to cut you off in mid-sentence one way or the other there, Slick.
We'll take it that way then.
All right, go give Elvis a high five and go give Kevin Millwood what he deserves.
All right, take it easy.
All right, thanks. Our thanks to Michael Young. Toronto leads 3-1. Aflac trivia question here in the fourth inning. Joaquin Benoit almost on this date 7 years ago, the longest save in baseball history. Remember that in Baltimore? Who was the winning pitcher in that bizarre game? September the 3rd, 2002. Whoa, look out. The bat throw from Josh Hamilton. Been a couple of those in this series for Josh. We have a winner. He wants to give it back, and I think he'll be told, no. Finders keepers.
It's a nice souvenir as long as it didn't hit you in the head. I'm amazed that more people don't get hurt the way those bats are flying into the stands.
3-1 Toronto here in the 4th. The dollar hot dog not enough for some fans to get the actual game used Josh Hamilton bat too. All right, thanks again to Michael Young for joining us in the top of the 4th inning. How disappointing that's got to be. You know, here he is in the organization for a 9th year. The Rangers are finally this close to getting in the postseason. It's largely because of what Michael Young has done. The guy's never had a hamstring tweak in his life. He's 32 years old. It's never happened before, and it happens with 25 or 30 games to go. Here's his water boy sitting next to him. Do you see that, Derek Holland?
Mm-hmm.
Giving him some quality H2O.
That's what I think of your water, kid.
Yeah, do better next time. Chop ball foul from Hamilton. There is nobody that I have met in the Ranger clubhouse that does dry humor like Michael Young does. Look at that deadpan delivery to everything he says and does. Josh Hamilton base hit.
I don't know how he hit that ball.
Thinking about 2. Got it.
Boy, a rainbow in from right field. I thought he had a chance to throw him out, but that ball looked like it slipped out of Snyder's hand. Josh going all the way. Hustles that single into a double. That pitch looked like it was about 8 inches inside. He hit a home run on a pitch last night that was way inside. That was farther inside than the ball he hit for a home run last night. It's hard, number one, to hit that ball to begin with, but then to keep it fair really takes some skill. The Rangers have a leadoff man on second base now. Got to move him around.
Cruz takes a rip and fouls it back. Out of town, good news and good news. The Mariners lead the Angels 3-0 at the end of 8. The Rays lead the Red Sox 5-3 at the end of 5. Elsewhere, the Yankees and the Orioles are tied 1-1 in the 6th inning. Rangers go play in Baltimore next after the off day tomorrow. Nelly Cruz balloons it in right. Here comes Josh Hamilton. He's going to score 3-2.
That's the way to get that run back in a hurry. 2 hits for Nelly tonight.
8 runs batted in for Nelson Cruz in his last 5 games.
Pretty good pitch too. Ball's down. Nelly hit it right off the end of the bat, just blooped it in front of Snyder.
We're talking about the Rangers going to play in Baltimore, Tag, and the Orioles will be without Adam Jones on the DL with an ankle sprain. That's a big part of their offense.
Well, earlier in the year when we played the Orioles, talk about Brian Roberts, Adam Jones, Nick Markakis, all 3 of those guys hitting 1, 2, and 3 were hot, swinging the bats great. Aubrey Huff was a force in the lineup. He's been traded to the Tigers, so he won't be there. The Orioles still have some good hitters, though. They can still score runs.
So it'll be no Michael Young for the Rangers, but no Adam Jones for Baltimore, and that 3-game series begins Friday. You mentioned Aubrey Huff going to the Tigers. The Tigers lead Cleveland tonight 4-2. The Tigers have a 3.5-game lead on Minnesota. Although actually I guess that's 4 now. The Twins got skunked by the Chicago White Sox. Joe Nathan, those saves he was almost blowing against the Rangers. He did blow one today. Gave up 4 in the 9th.
4 in the 9th. Wow.
Murphy tags it right field. At the track. Caught at the wall.
Well, didn't quite get it. Gave it a good ride, though.
Yeah, that game was 2-0 Minnesota. The White Sox, who had a 5-game losing streak going, 4 off Nathan in the 9th.
The Rangers had a great chance to do that twice to Nathan, like you said.
Murphy's the guy that almost got him, too.
Yep, he snuck it in there. Bases loaded, nobody out the next time.
Back it goes to Richmond to bobble. Gets the out at second base, and then at first base. No! Safe as Pudge Rodriguez, and the bobble cost him.
Pudge still getting down the line pretty good for a 37-year-old catcher.
Now here's Blaylock, who went to the opposite field for an RBI single his first time up. Just his 8th hit in his last 48 at bats. I'll tell you one thing that is obviously different about this September than the last few Septembers. Tag, we have not seen a press release in recent Septembers saying playoff tickets go on sale September 12th.
Nope, we haven't.
And that is the date when the Rangers will offer them. If there is going to be such an animal as an American League Division Series involving the Rangers this year, September 12th is when they will put them on sale, we are told. Opposite field again. You saw the Angels have lost in Seattle. That's good news. Not quite as good a news so far here. 3-2 Blue Jays at the end of 4. with the Joaquin Benoit 7-inning save. The anniversary of that is tomorrow. Todd Van Poppel got credit for that win. Aaron Mayette was ejected 2 pitches into that game, kind of the John Lackey plan. And Pop got credit for the win. Benoit went the rest of the way in what was almost a no-hitter for the Rangers in that very bizarre game. Rangers make a change here in the outfield, and boy, I didn't even want to guess what this is all about, but Josh Hamilton has come out and Marlon Byrd has gone in. Josh went thundering into second base, remember, on that double to lead off the 4th, came around to score. And hopefully that's just a precautionary thing. You don't even want to think about no Young and no Hamilton for even a couple of games.
Yeah, especially the way they are both playing.
John McDonald with a pop-up that Kinsler's going to handle. Byrd was given the night off, just trying to kind of take a break. He was 2 for his last 28 at the plate. But no reason yet that we know of. Hamilton out and Byrd is in here as we begin the 5th inning. Strike 1 to Scutaro. We were talking earlier, Tom, about the Rangers going forward without Michael Young. He leads all big league third basemen in starts and innings. And again, since he became a regular back in April of 2002, only 6 times did he miss 2 games in a row. He had back stiffness in August of 04. Missed a couple games in 05 when his son Mateo was born. Hard to believe Mateo is 4 years old now. There was a family funeral in July of 07. He missed 2 games. He missed the last 2 games of the 07 season with a groin injury. And he had that fractured ring finger last September, and that only cost him the 2 games in a row. That's a fractured ring finger. Popped in right.
The Rangers continue to get Scutaro out 3 times tonight. Didn't get on base yesterday.
Yep, 0 for his last 11. But anyway, this is a new one on Michael Young, and you heard him when we talked to him last inning. He's got a great attitude, masking what has got to be a lot of frustration. Just running out a kind of a routine 6-3 ground out in the bottom of the 3rd yesterday. Another harmless fly ball. Tommy Hunter rounding into form here tonight. Low pitch count, not even 60 pitches to get through 5 innings, but Toronto's got the lead 3-2. This is Ranger Baseball, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com, grab your bag, it's on. And by Whataburger, just like you like it. We move to the bottom of the fifth. It is 3-2 Toronto tonight, and Chris Davis fires away right away. Lofting it to left. There is one out. We bring in Steve Busby to help break down the Scott Richmond versus Tommy Hunter battle tonight. And Buzz, good to see you as always, first of all. And Richmond is a guy, we were just talking yesterday about you don't hear a lot about crafty right-handers, but this guy seems like he could be a crafty right-hander.
Yeah, I think you're right, Josh. It's he's a unique kind of pitcher in that for a relatively young, experience-wise guy, he's very much like Roy Halladay in the number of first pitch strikes that he throws. And normally you don't see that kind of development until later on in a guy's career. But Richmond's done well. I'm sure you've mentioned it, but I read a nice stat about him being second in the American League to only Roy Halladay for the number of first pitches the guys swing at.
All right, he entices you to put the bat on the ball.
Yeah, and you do that by throwing strikes. And he's done a marvelous job of 3 different pitches that he's capable of throwing in the strike zone at any time.
Good jinx right there, by the way.
Yeah.
Skip to the plate.
Always works.
Well, what about on the other side tonight? Tommy Hunter, the first inning problem again, but other than that.
And the same kind of thing we saw in Minnesota the other day with Tommy. Command in the first inning was a little bit rough. His command tonight has not been as sharp. It has not picked up as much as it did in Minnesota after that first inning. But you have to like the way he competes. I don't care how badly things are going. You never see body language wise or expression or determination anything about giving up. I mean, he is just going to battle you tooth and nail no matter how badly or how well things are going.
Time granted to Bourbon. Steve Busby, by the way, on Rangers Live after the game. You've heard him already before the game tonight. And coming up after the game, it's Rangers Live Part 2. Kind of lively down there on that set, it looks like.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, well, last night it surprised me. Obviously, it wasn't one of the larger crowds, but boy, the folks that hung around, and they were all pumped up. Maybe 18 innings of baseball will do that for you when you win both of them.
18 innings of libations will do that for you, too.
Well, I wasn't going to throw that out.
Well, the O'Day chant or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. And you get a pair of headsets on down there, and it's even magnified. I was singing that as I went to sleep last night, I think.
Down too low to Bourbon. Boy, you'd love to have him get on and run around a little bit.
I was kind of excited watching him get on in the first inning and say, okay, here we go. Let's see what these 3 guys in order at the top of the order are able to do. Tom, you might be able to remember this much better than I, but I can't remember a Ranger team that had the kind of speed in the order that Ron Washington's able to put out there tonight without Michael Young, but Bourbon and Andrus and Kinsler. That'll really put the fear of God into you as a catcher and a pitcher.
Yeah, you've got pretty much 6 guys at the top of the lineup that can all run. And good base running. Speed doesn't just translate into stolen bases. It translates into your defensive play. It translates into going first to third, scoring from second on a base hit. And I think you're right as far as consistent speed throughout the lineup. Ron has that luxury right now.
I think it's like Tampa Bay with Bartlett and Upton and Crawford.
Yeah.
If you go with those 3 guys, any of them can bunt on you, steal a base on you. We've talked before about the 1990s Indians teams that Omar Vizquel was a part of, when they would roll out there with Omar and Roberto Alomar and Kenny Lofton.
Yep.
But I think you're absolutely right. I mean, you never associate a Ranger team, or you haven't before, with that kind of thing.
Yeah, I'd have to go back a long way. Maybe sometime in the 70s when Bump Wills was there, and you had Toby up there at the top occasionally and things like that. But I can't remember a Ranger team that had 3 guys at the top of the order that were really proficient at not only stealing bases but base running. I mean, really good speed.
Probably, I don't either.
We were talking about that in New York. It wasn't too long ago that Frank Catalanato led this team in steals with 9. Yep. And there was Bourbon had 8 in a week last month.
See if he gets one here.
If it hadn't gotten out of hand against Boston, he might have had 8 in the night.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Either that or Varitek would have had to come out of the game. A sore arm.
Huge lead over there for Julio. Not going yet. Elvis Andrus cranks one deep left field. Elvis Andrus, gone! The heck with speed.
Bring back the power. Well, Elvis getting a chance tonight to move up into a spot in the lineup where eventually he probably will hit on a consistent basis. He had a nice at bat the first time up on a hit and run. He almost had a base hit to make it first and third. Nice play by the second baseman. But this fastball rides up and in instead of down and away where he wanted it. And Elvis shows some power by driving this ball out of here.
See, now the whole time this year, Tom, we thought it was Michael Young with a power surge. It's the number 2 slot.
Maybe
he's got to
that's
hit
what
the right
it is.
spot in the order.
Last year at this time, Julio Borbon was in Frisco with Elvis Andrus. I mean, these were double-A guys that, you know, obviously you figured they would be big leaguers at some point. But a year later, they're both scoring here in the 5th inning to give the Rangers a lead in a big game against Toronto.
I'd love to see Borbon work a walk like that to utilize his speed and get on base. Didn't need the speed to score on that home run, but that's one thing that will determine how successful Borbon is at the top of the lineup, his ability to get on base. That is the thing, really.
Watch Borbon's reaction to the home run.
See, now in Kangaroo Court, Andrews has got to get fined for hitting a home run with Borbon aboard. That's not utilizing speed. I mean, it's going to waste, huh?
That's right.
Isn't that a fine?
That's right.
Yeah, watching Julio trot.
You have to keep the ball in the ballpark to see if he could score from first.
Right. Otherwise, you can't use your speed. You don't want to see him trot.
Either that or he's got to go a little harder and slide into home plate on the home run. And that'll get him fined.
Yeah. There's got to be a fine there someplace for somebody. Maybe both of them since they're rookies.
Kinsler follows up. Right down the line, it's foul. I will say this, just as a kind of a casual observer, it's not baseball related, but there is no shortage of high wattage smiles on this Ranger team. I mean, obviously bringing Pudge back, we know that, but Elvis and Julio Borbon, they both had the big smiles going right there.
Well, you know, we talk a lot of times about the energy that the young players bring to the ball club, and it's graphic. I mean, you see that with the smiles. You see that with, I think, as people have put it in the past, guys playing like their hair's on fire.
Well, isn't it? I mean, I wasn't here when Pudge first came up, but I mean, obviously, wasn't that kind of the big charismatic selling point? I mean, it wasn't just that he was a talented player; it was that energy.
Yeah, exactly. Always smiling, always energetic.
Kinsler bashing one to right. Out number 2. Well, and let's face it, it's easier to smile when possibly you could be 75 and 58 at the end of the night. The Rangers looking to match their high water mark for the year, 17 games over 500.
Well, it's going to get interesting. I don't know what's going to happen, but I just hope that for the organization's sake, for the fans' sake, that this ball club can make the last 7 games of the season in Anaheim against the Angels and in Seattle mean a whole lot. I hope that they get that far. I hope they can get that done, because it's going to be tremendous.
Marlon Byrd's first AB of the night. He'll line to center. Steve Busby, good job. You got the Rangers 2 runs.
Thank you, Josh.
And Elvis Andrus helped out too.
There you go. All right.
Thanks, buddy.
You're welcome.
Elvis Andrus.
Good job, Buzz.
4-3 Rangers.
Back at the ballpark in Arlington, good news. Texas now leading Toronto 4-3. And more good news, we have big-time Ranger fan, Lieutenant Stefan Granberry, the Irving Police Department, to tell us about some good news on Labor Day weekend.
Yes, sir. Well, I'm here to promote the Choose Your Ride campaign that we're partnering with TxDOT and with Mothers Against Drunk Driving on. We've got a squad car that we have that's promoting this. The back half of the car is wrapped up in yellow, looks like a yellow cab, and the front half looks like a squad car. And we've got it set out at various locations throughout the city to draw attention that you have a choice, this holiday season, to choose your ride. You either choose a cab or you choose to ride with us.
There we go. And there's another choice you have, too, as well.
Yeah, well, obviously, if you choose to ride with us, we're going to give you the option of taking your blood only. We're doing what's called a no refusal weekend. And if you do refuse to give us a specimen of your blood, we're going to go ahead and get a search warrant. We have judges and nurses on staff that'll handle that for us. And we'll go ahead and draw the blood right there at the scene.
All right, Lieutenant, appreciate that. And
thank you.
Enjoy the rest of the game. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, officer. And Tommy Hunter strikes out Adam Lind, which is a great sign.
That was a good pitch, too. He threw the fastball by him.
Overbay chops it right to first base, and Tommy Hunter, after a 2-run first inning, has settled down beautifully. He allowed that home run to Overbay in the fourth, but that's one of only 2 hits Toronto's got since the first inning.
That's pretty much exactly what he did against Minnesota. 3 in the first and 6 shutout innings after that. That was a 3-2 loss. This was a 3-2 game, but the Rangers came back and got 2. Now they've got the lead. Tommy out there pitching in the 6th inning with a couple outs with a 1-run lead. Good pitch count, too. He's only got 63 pitches.
Great pitch count.
After a doubleheader, even though you've got an expanded roster in a pennant race late in the game, there's plenty of guys to pitch, but late in the game, some of them aren't the guys you want to put in there. And after last night, with Frankie pitching in both games, Darren O'Day's pitched quite a bit lately. So is CJ. Felice is unavailable tonight. Keeping that pitch count down after a 20-pitch first inning. Boy, negligible pitch count. As the deeper Tommy can go, the better.
6 innings from McCarthy yesterday, 6 innings from Nippert yesterday. It's looking like at least 6 from Tommy tonight. You and I sometimes get sideways about that quality start statistic. All you got to do is go 6 innings and give up 3 runs. That's a 4.50 ERA, but that is considered a quality start.
I think if you can expand it, though, to 7 innings in 3 runs,
I'd be on board for that.
Start. Or 2 runs
in 6.
like last night in 6 innings. Then I think you've got a quality start.
Absolutely with you. If I could write my congressman and get that changed, I would say 6 innings, 2 runs, 7 innings, 3 runs, or 8 innings, 4 runs would be fine, because that's a 4.5 ERA also.
Yeah, technically, if you're going to give it 6 innings, 3 runs, you have to give it 8 innings, 4 runs, because that's really better because you pitched 8 innings instead of 6.
It's the same ERA.
Yeah.
All right, we'll draft the letter. Tommy Hunter off the mound with the lead. It's another low pitch inning, 9 in that inning. 4-3 Rangers. $100 plus tickets to a Ranger game and dinner for two at Sonic. Good luck to Renee Woodward of Aledo. If a Ranger hits the grand slam this inning, we're giving away $25,000. Nelson Cruz striding to the plate. 2 for 2 so far against Scott Richmond. The resilient Rangers trying to make it 3 straight wins against Toronto after the 18-10 loss on Monday. The 18-10 loss, just the latest possible example of the so-called tipping point people are looking for.
Stay fair.
Nelly Cruz hoping it will, and it does. Home run!
Yeah, the long ball definitely gets the crowd into it, that's for sure.
Nelly is the first Ranger to go the big 3-0 this year. 30 home runs for Nelson Cruz.
What a night. RBI single, RBI and scored a run, and now a home run. Knock one in and score one with that one. 2 RBIs, 3 hits, 2 runs.
The Rangers getting it done without Michael Young, and for the rest of the night anyway, without Josh Hamilton. We did receive some injury news on Josh. A sore lower back is why he left the game. Nelly Cruz just left the yard.
Yep, that was a slider that got a lot of the plate. And Nelly shows you what can happen to that pitch.
Lock and load. Boy, Nelly does tend to bury him out there in left field, doesn't he?
Yeah, the one he hit the other night went all the way to the back of the seats.
I got to show that off at the Home Run Derby in St. Louis, too.
Pretty good game for those 3 guys. The only thing that's missing when we show those shots is knowing what they were talking about.
We need captions. We need word balloons.
When you see those big smiles, you just wish you knew what the other guy said.
We can make this
when they're talking. You know they're talking hitting right now, but still.
Look, we make it like Mystery Science Theater 3000 and just inject our own
guess.
Yeah.
With those little bubbles and put our own words in. Well, you can usually tell looking at the bench if you haven't seen the game which guys have had good games. Like right now, you pretty much know that Elvis has done something with the bat.
There's just a lot of lively, animated discussion with these Rangers pretty much all night. Say, Nelly, did you see Tom Grieve do that What Is Love dance yesterday? That was awesome. That got a lot of airplay yesterday.
That'll get, you know what? If I was part of the Kangaroo Court, that might be the biggest fine of the year right there.
You being on the Jumbotron?
For embarrassing the team.
I don't know. Your night at the Roxbury Invitation was spot on, I thought. Even if you did need to pop an Advil afterwards.
Yeah, for an old man with no rhythm, I guess it was pretty good. It gave confidence to a lot of guys out there who don't like to dance because they don't think they can dance well. They had to say, man, if I can't do better than that.
Well, Chuck Morgan's the one that put you up on the Jumbotron, and it became instant shtick classic here.
Well, next time Chuck does it, and they show the booth, it's your turn. Well, see, I know you can do that.
Oh, I can bust a move, Ted.
Oh, yeah, I know you can.
Yeah. David Murphy draws the walk. And as Bud Rodriguez comes up, we head down to Emily Jones.
Well, guys, to no surprise, I'm here to remind you to follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/FS Southwest. A funny story to pass along. I was walking up here to speak to you gentlemen, past a Rangers fan on the concourse. He said, hey, I see you all the time on TV. Turned to his wife and said, that's the Twitter girl. I've been called much worse in my career, don't get me wrong, but I'm not quite sure what to make of being referred to as Twitter girl.
You're Twitter girl. I like that.
Let's try to put an end to that.
And you are way better than the Twitter girl, and we all know that.
If I'm going to be Twitter girl, I want a crown and a sash.
Absolutely. And next year there will be vying for your crown.
Oh, bye away, everyone.
All right. Bye. Thank you. Rangers leading 5-3. And the Nelson Cruz home run, part of a big night for Nelly. 3 for 3. Couple of runs batted in. Well, again, if you're just joining us, Michael Young expected to be out a couple of weeks. Josh Hamilton now day-to-day with that lower back pain that he left with after his second at-bat tonight.
Nobody out here. 100 pitches right now for Richmond. Bullpen's starting to get loose for the Blue Jays.
Down that right field line, foul. Again, the Angels have lost 3-0. That was Felix Hernandez over Scott Kazmir. King Felix goes to 14-5.
King Felix is going for the Cy Young Award, too.
Boy, no kidding.
Not only has he got the wins, he's got the ERA to go along with him.
So does old Greinke in Kansas City.
Yes, he does. Doesn't have the same amount of wins, but he's got the ERA. In fact, he's got a better ERA than King Felix.
Cito Gaston's team, we mentioned, a couple dozen games behind the Yankees. The Yankees lead Baltimore tonight 3-2. 8th inning. Tigers beat the Indians 4-2. Fernando Rodney now has 31 saves for Detroit. Boston still losing in Tampa Bay, by the way. That one's now 5-4 in the 7th. As of this moment, the Rangers 3.5 back in the wild card, 4 back in the West. 4 weeks to go.
Tough at bat for Pudge, boys. Fouling pitches off, hanging in there. It's only the 3rd hitter of the 6th inning, but it's been a long 6th inning so far for Richmond as far as pitches go.
White Sox rallied past the Twins today 4-2, getting 4 off Joe Nathan in the 9th. And boy, Chicago needed that. And we'll get him back to, well, 2.5 a second now. Still 7 out of first.
And Chicago needed that. Minnesota needed it badly too after the Tigers won.
Not a great at bat for Pudge.
Sure was.
Jesse Carlson's been warming up. And the call will go to the left-hander. Scott Richmond is at the end of the night. Rangers leading 5-3. Fridays, you can get $10 tickets, $5 parking to see the Rangers in Seattle Friday, September 11th. And her fireworks is a coupon. Go to TexasRangers.com. That's sponsored by 105.3 The Fan. Well, you got 3 lefties in a row about to bat for Texas, and the Toronto Blue Jays go and get a lefty to face them. Jesse Carlson takes over for Scott Richmond here. 2 on, nobody out, already 5-3 Rangers. And the heavily tattooed New England native, Jesse Carlson, not having quite the year that he had last year for the Blue Jays. Took Jesse Carlson 7 years as a professional to make the majors, but boy, not only did he make it last year, he excelled last year. Last year, Tag, he faced 237 batters. One time he started out somebody 3-0.
Wow.
That's amazing. Not nearly as locked in, though, here in 09. Blaylock hangs in there. If nothing else, just trying to move the runners, right? At first and second, nobody out. You know, Blaylock had that stretch of 33 games where he didn't walk at all. Now he's walked 4 times in his last 5 games. Looking to move the runners. And yes, sir, got down the lane.
Chop that one up to punch.
Murphy scores here on Pledger. Ran it in.
Go back and show the replay of this. He went into second base and completely took the shortstop out of that play. Looks like a double play until this. And there goes the ball, and in comes a run.
It has been a rough couple of games for Marco Scutaro. Hitless and with 3 errors. Fielder's choice in an E6. Blaylock down to second. It is 6-3 Rangers. Ball 1 to Davis. Boston still losing in the 8th. And again, the Angels have already lost. Two and 1 to Davis. We have a quick look at some National League scores here, Tag. The Giants beat the Phillies 4-0, and that wild card race is still a great one going in the National League. Giants getting to within a half a game of Colorado as Brad Penny pitches a shutout in his Giants debut.
I didn't even know Brad Penny was with the Giants.
He beat Jay Happ, who was 10-3. That was in Philly.
How far did he pitch in that game?
Let me hit some magic buttons here and I'll find out for you. Meantime, I can tell you the Marlins lead the Braves. A couple of other wild card possibilities there at 7-6 in the 6th inning. Strike called to Davis, and down he goes. Penny went 8 innings.
Wow. Red Sox are wondering where that game was.
No kidding. A 5-hitter through 8. No runs, and yeah, that was a strike.
Well, the other thing that's a fact, it's easier to pitch in the National League than it is in the American League.
Although, I mean, just to play devil's advocate, it's not easy to win in Philly.
No, not against that team in that ballpark. That's a good point.
Strike to Bourbon. He walked to set up the Andrews home run in the 5th inning. A couple of emailers have suggested that Bourbon, with all the speed that he possesses, maybe that gets in the head of Scott Richmond a little bit and allows Elvis Andrews to get a little more locked in than the pitcher was.
Possible. Definitely possible.
By the way, if you'd like to email the booth, you're certainly welcome to do that at foxsports.com. And the keyword is email Rangers. And believe it, partner, there have been some emails wanting to see a replay of your night at the Roxbury dance. I'm just throwing it out there.
Right now, I'm trying to fight going on the disabled list with a stiff neck. might be. I got an off day tomorrow. I might be okay for Baltimore.
Bourbon, a little loop shot, center field, and Bautista's got it. The Rangers, however, with 2 runs on the board in that 6th inning. Nelson Cruz, another home run. And the Rangers lead by 3. Rapid rewind. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. 1 strike to Randy Ruiz as we begin the back third of the ball game, and Tommy Hunter, after allowing 2 in the 1st inning, he's pitching a beautiful ball game tonight.
He's got a little bit of a cushion now, and he's got a good pitch count. He's only thrown 70 pitches.
But you really do get a good sense of what you're going to get from Tommy Hunter. There might be a little wobble in the 1st inning, but you're almost guaranteed to see him out there in the 6th or 7th inning.
Pudge definitely wanted to make sure Tommy saw that sign. He stood up like they did 50 or 60 years ago.
Looking at Casey Jansen in that bullpen. And a pop fly foul by Ruiz.
Watch Pudge give this target. He wants to emphasize he wants it high. Looks like he wants a pitch out. Well, Tommy threw it right where he wanted it. Ruiz didn't. Wasn't tempted.
On appeal, no swing. You never see the corollary of that, by the way. You never see, if you want one down, you never see a pitcher just, looking at the catcher and he's lying down.
Although, you know who did that? Tony Pena. Remember how Tony Pena used to do the splits?
He'd do that, yeah, that one-legged.
I don't know how he got in the position to do that.
Manny Sanguillen used to do that, too.
Yeah, he put one leg way out, and he wasn't actually lying down, but I guess that was as low as he could get. That hurt every time I saw him do that.
I know. Doesn't seem like something a body can do. Is that even, I mean, I know this is ridiculous. Is that even legal, though? What if a catcher literally reclined? I mean, just like lay down, face up.
I guess it's legal. You might have a hard time catching the ball.
But I guess there's no rule against that, right?
I don't think so.
Finally getting around on one. Randy Ruiz drives it. It's deep, and it's gone. Pretty nice at bat right there for Randy Ruiz. A lot of fouls, and then finally the home run. Throw it back, they're telling him. Throw it back. There it goes. Fifth home run since coming up from AAA for Randy Ruiz. Mike Maddox will make his first visit to the mound here.
I think the one pitch that Tommy hasn't commanded the way he normally does is his changeup. He's thrown a lot of changeups that have been high. That one was about top of the strike zone high. He threw Ruiz some good pitches in that at bat, and he fouled them off. Kept battling until he got one he could handle, and then he got the high changeup and hit it.
Travis Snyder, the batter. He takes aim. David Murphy backs up, makes the catch. We haven't seen a lot of shots of Rangers captain on our air this year. But there, for your viewing pleasure, there he was. The Red Sox captain is Jason Varitek. That is Rangers captain. And the Red Sox, just to update you, last that we heard anyway, it was still 5-4 Tampa Bay in the 8th. And the Angels have already lost tonight in Seattle. Couple of strikes on Bautista. All zeros, ones, and twos on the scoreboard tonight. Toronto's got a couple of one-run innings and 1-2. The Rangers have a couple of ones and 2 twos to lead 6-4. Foul tip grabbed by Pudge Rodriguez. Jason Grilli getting ready in the Ranger bullpen. 2 down here in the 7th. See, I don't know about you. This sure seems like a quality start for Tommy Hunter tonight. And because it's 4 runs now, that officially will not be.
Yeah, I think he's pitching well, but just in all fairness, I think you have to end up with a game with a better ERA than 4 runs in 7 innings. But I don't think the Rangers are disappointed in this start. I think there's a big difference between going 5 innings and giving up, say, 2 or 3 runs, or going 7 innings and giving up 4. Tonight, the Rangers need the innings, and they've got some runs to deal with, and Tommy's giving them 7 innings, and that is solid.
Stand up and stretch. Rangers 6, Toronto 4. Texas Ranger Baseball brought to you by the Ford F-150. It's not just a pickup truck, it's a Ford F-150. And by Jack Daniels. Your friends at Jack Daniels remind you to drink responsibly. Another pitching change now for Toronto. And before we tell you about Casey Janssen, we'll show you the Southwest Airlines game summary. Rangers up 6-4. We saw Casey Janssen in the ball game, one of the ball games yesterday. The Rangers won a pair yesterday, 5-2 and 5-2. Elvis Andrus, a home run hitter for the Rangers tonight. 2-run shot in the 5th. Casey Janssen, who missed all of last year with shoulder surgery, now getting into his 14th game of 2009. Number 6 this year for the 21-year-old Mr. Andrus. Hardy hits a short. Scudero turns and gets him. Josh Hamilton, remember, left the game earlier tonight with a sore back. Listed as day-to-day. Michael Young's hamstring injury from yesterday, a little more serious. He'll be out, we were told, a couple of weeks. And the continued resiliency of the Rangers is one of the, not only the big storylines around these parts, but I think all around baseball. People are starting to catch on to, you know, how the Rangers haven't had a losing streak since the All-Star break of more than 3. Longest losing streak all season has been 5. I guess the defining element to that would have to be pitching, right? I mean, you get a game like this from Tommy Hunter tonight. Nippert yesterday, McCarthy yesterday. The Rangers have won 26 of their last 43, and that is with one win streak of more than 3 during that time. It's been kind of a win 2, lose 1 deal going for a while. But they say in baseball, as in life itself, I guess, you're never supposed to get too high or too low, right? And the Rangers have done a real good job with that.
I think that's important in baseball because you play every day just about for 6 months, 162 games. So I think maintaining an even keel is what you learn to do after a while. Doesn't mean you can't get overexcited any given night and a little down after a tough loss on a certain night, but overall maintaining an even keel allows you to get through the season a little bit easier.
Another fly ball from Kinsler. 4th time tonight he's hit one in the air. You saw C.J. Wilson warming in the bullpen. I'm wondering, Tag, if that's for Lind and Overbay, the 2 lefties that bat 3rd and 4th in the upcoming inning. You've got Scudero and Hill starting out the inning.
I'd say that's a good possibility. If not to start the inning, definitely for the left-handers, depending on who's on base.
Marlon Byrd entered the game when Josh Hamilton left with that sore back. Down the line, foul. Yankees lead on Baltimore now 7-2 in the 9th. The Rays continue to lead the Red Sox 5-4 in the 8th. And again, the Mariners with that 3-0 win over the Angels. Although Scott Kazmir struck out 8 in his Angels debut, King Felix got the win instead, got the shutout. Cubs got a shutout today, beat the Astros 2-0. Ted Lilly the win. Cubs are trying to hang in there, boy, but a lot of teams to climb for that wild card. Slowly hit up near 3rd. Barehand pickup, McDonald. Safe at first is Marlon Byrd.
McDonald made a good try on that ball. Not sure if he was able to get a good grip on the ball. Might have thrown it with all 4 fingers on the ball. Took a little hop. Overbay stayed with the hop, but Marlon, let's see if you can see his hand. Looked like he might have had a palm ball over there to first base. But on a do-or-die play, you don't really have time to make sure your fingers are on the ball right.
Big night going for this guy. Nelson Cruz 3 for 3, including his 30th home run of the year. Nelly had 44 last year if you combine AAA with the big leagues. Boston and Tampa Bay now 5-5 in the 8th. The Red Sox,
one out and the bases loaded too.
The Red Sox have been scoring a lot of runs the last couple of weeks. Oh, the wild pitch got that tying run in.
2nd and 3rd, though.
They're making Jansen work a little bit. 3-1 the count. Brian Wolf has gotten up in the Toronto bullpen. And again, C.J. Wilson for the Rangers. Three and two. A's beat the Royals today 10-4. Trevor Cahill got the win. Tigers beat the Indians 4-2. Rick Porcello, the rookie, goes to 12-8. Bird was going on 3-2. We'll back up and do it again. Struck him out. So now Nelly 3 for 4. The Rangers leading 6-4 as we head to the 8th. Well, today, Major League Baseball releasing the list of all the nominees for the Roberto Clemente Award that will be presented by Chevy. Have the Chevy representative here at the ballpark earlier tonight, and the least we can do is show some younger fans that never got a chance to see Roberto Clemente play. What Roberto Clemente looked like. What a graceful and powerful and wonderful player he was, not to mention a humanitarian. Michael Young has been nominated to represent the Rangers. And as we spoke to Michael earlier, obviously quite an honor for him. C.J. Wilson will begin things here in the 8th. And we'll tell you more about C.J. Wilson in just a moment. First, a little bit more about why Michael Young got that nomination. C.J. Wilson greeted here on a line drive to center field.
The Rangers continued to get Marco Scutaro out 0 for 4 today. Hit that ball hard, though. Fortunately, it was right at Marlin in center field. CJ with 67 strikeouts in 60 innings. He's only given up 3 home runs this year and a fine opponent's batting average of .229.
Well, it's interesting how the Rangers will be going at it tonight with the bullpen. We saw CJ in one of the 2 games yesterday. Frankie Francisco in both of the games yesterday. On the ground to short, Elvis Andrus backs up. And CJ Wilson facing a couple of righties to start the 8th, gets them both out.
They both hit the ball well. but right at 2 good fielders and 2 quick outs on 3 pitches, 4 pitches.
I mean, obviously, if C.J. Wilson can get a quick 3rd out here in the 8th, probably no reason he can't come right back out for the 9th. As you look at our Ford leaderboard and how many baseballs Elvis Andrus gets to. Just thinking along with Ron Washington, Tag, I got to think that's the hope, that C.J. pitches just a lickety-split 8th inning, and you could run him right back out there for the 9th.
They got an off day tomorrow. And the pitchers will let the manager and the pitching coach know how they feel, whether they're available. CJ's throwing the ball fine.
Boy, it's ahead 2 strikes. Looks like Warner Madrigal has gotten up in that Ranger bullpen.
That's just to loosen up. That's not. I don't think that's to come into the ball game. Jason Grilly was warming up earlier. I think Warner's just getting some throwing in right now.
Adam Lind has been the toughest out. 6 home runs in 6 games in this ballpark this year. Lines another one deep. Down the line and foul. Well, that new look Ranger batting order tonight. Bourbon got on base twice, and Elvis Andrus hit a home run. The top 2 hitters, the young Bourbon and Andrus. Nelly Cruz put into the 5th spot tonight. Has had the biggest night with 3 hits, including a home run. C.J. Wilson needed only 9 pitches for the 8th. Looks like we'll see him again in the 9th. First to bottom of the 8th, and the Rangers lead 6-4.
At the ballpark in Arlington, bottom of the 8th. Rangers leading Toronto 6-4. Josh and Tom, time for the progressive fan of the game. It has to be Mrs. Knowles. She's a school teacher at University Heights Academy in Kentucky. She brought her entire high school, 122 strong here. Congratulations. Good to have you, progressive fan. Get the tote bag, a hat, even though you have one, a T-shirt. You guys learn anything here tonight? We'll continue on.
How much fun was that last night?
That was so much fun. They're singing it for Brian Wolf.
The entire high school has turned out to serenade Darren O'Day, even though you're right, Brian Wolf is now on the mound for Toronto. Quick update, the Rays now leading the Red Sox 6-5. And Boston currently 3.5 games the lead on the Rangers. That's for the wild card. Rangers have come back to within 4 in the West. Can carve that to 3.5. That's because Seattle beat the Angels 3-0. Second time we've seen Brian Wolf in this series. David Murphy greets him with a line shot in the right center. Pudge Rodriguez comes up next. Pudge had a real nice effort on the bases not too long ago. We're going to show it to you with the Coors Light freeze cam.
This led to an unearned run. This hard slide into Marco Scutaro. Going to force a bad throw. Allow a run to score. And there it is.
And there's your Coors Light freeze cam.
37 years old, playing like he's 27 right now. Breaking up a double play like that.
The bunch from Pudge. Not something we're that accustomed to seeing, and it ends up a foul ball for strike one. The numbers on Brian Wolf been up and down a couple times this year between Toronto and AAA Vegas. After failing to get the bunt down, now 0-2. You see that Tampa Bay's lead has improved to 8-5 on Boston now. 2-run homer from Evan Longoria, we are told.
Nice going, Evan.
Wow.
Watch out on deck.
That got back on the brick pretty quick.
Wow. I don't see a ball hit there by a right-hand hitter very often. By anybody, for that matter.
Rangers out hitting Toronto 9-5. Remember, they trailed this game 2-0 and 3-1. Murphy goes with a good jump, and Pudge will loop one towards right. Caught. Whoa. And then slipping on the chalk line over there was Travis Snyder. Blaylock comes up next. Let's go down to the set of Rangers Live, and Dana standing by.
Yes, it is our final post-game show of the homestand coming up. As you have mentioned, Scott Kazmier's debut with the Angels was a very good one, but Ranger fans will still want to stay tuned for those Angels highlights anyway. Great night for scoreboard watching. We'll have the Red Sox race highlights, also a Josh Hamilton update, his injury status. Join me, Steve Busby, for the expert analysis, and Emily Jones, not just your Twitter girl. She'll be working the Rangers clubhouse for post-game reaction as well.
I think we've got a nickname for Emily for sure now. Twitter girl. Thank you very much,
You
Dana.
got it.
A lot of emailers suggesting you're now the Rangers rally monkey tag with that little head shake move you had yesterday.
I have to get in shape if that's going to have to happen for every rally.
We've had Rally Flan from out in Anaheim.
Maybe they just make a cartoon character, bald-headed cartoon character. Let him do it out there.
You need like an avatar, you know, just like a pretend tag that can do that, so you don't hurt your neck.
Right.
We had that last year with the nerd alert for me. You know, we could make a little bobblehead tag for you.
Whatever happened to that?
I have no idea. I'm still a nerd. We just don't have the graphic.
You got to alert people to that fact every now and then.
Oh, I do a darn good job of that. goes, and Blaylock opposite field again. That's twice tonight he has done that. And you like the fact that he's rewarded for having done it.
Well, he had the shift on. That ball's a ground ball right to third base, but with the shift on, it's a ground ball right into left field. 2 hits for Hank tonight.
Well, we mentioned Hank making just his second start in the last 10 games for the Rangers. All you can do is get out there and do what you do when you're given the chance. And Hank has done that tonight. Let's see if Davis can sock this thing away. Opposite field, smothered by McDonald. What a play, look at that. They get 2.
Kidding me.
Davis. Man, he just spiked his helmet. He couldn't believe it.
That's one of the better double plays you'll ever see.
They call John McDonald the Prime Minister of Defense up there in Canada. He just showed you why. It stays 6-4 as we go to the 9th. Away in the 9th, and it's still C.J. Wilson. He needed only 9 pitches to get through the 8th. How about 8 pitches to get through the 9th, and we'll go home. A 6-4 Ranger lead. And the chopper foul. Got to get through Overbay, Barajas, and Ruiz. Six runs on 10 hits as the Rangers try to make it 3 out of 4 against Toronto and square the season series at 5-a-side. Another chance to gain some ground tonight. The Rangers, if they win, are back to within 3.5 in the West. It's possible they could be within 2.5 in the wild card. And just about, 27 hours ago, Tag, it was 6 out and 5 out.
Yep, Rangers have a chance to make 2.5 games up on the Angels.
Got him. Strike 3 called.
That's our ace cameraman behind home plate, Bouvet Harmon. Bouvet, this I understand is your last game of the season tonight. We're going to miss you. Say hi to everybody for us.
Great work all year. Thank you, Bouvet.
Bouvet is the son of the late Merle Harmon, whose booth we are in. A very nice ceremony last month. The home television booth was named after Merle. A nice fitting honor for Merle and his family. There's the booth.
And from the booth, we look out and see that C.J. Wilson is coming out. And look who's coming in. Saved 2 games yesterday. Frankie Francisco. Back in a moment. Ron Washington got what he wanted apparently out of C.J. Wilson. He wanted him to face the lefties, Lind and Overbay, to end the 8th and begin the 9th. And now with the righties scheduled to come up. Frankie Francisco, though, he pitched twice yesterday, 2 different 9th innings yesterday to save 5-2 wins. He's going to be asked to come back again and now try to save a 6-4 score in the 9th inning tonight.
And Frankie and C.J. are going to enjoy an off day tomorrow after the doubleheader and today. But C.J. was throwing just as well today as he has all season long. Got his fastball up to 95 miles an hour, threw strikes, 4 up, 4 down, struck out the 2 lefties. Now Frankie going to try to finish it off.
Right in on Barajas. We should mention there's a defensive change or two to tell you about this inning. Omar Vizquel in to play 3rd, and Chris Davis moves across to 1st. Blaylock done for the night. Two outs left to get. And the former Ranger Barajas against his one-time battery mate Frankie Francisco. Tommy Hunter stands to get the win. He would go to 7-3. You mentioned the Rangers have the off day tomorrow, then it's on to Baltimore. Dave Barnett will join Tag in the booth on Friday. Don't forget the game Saturday is now a nationally televised game on Fox. And the finale of that series Sunday afternoon. Way up there. Underneath that full moon, everybody converging, and it's Davis for out number 2.
Well, a good thing so far about coming in relief tonight is the fact that C.J. got 4 outs, minimum amount of pitches, and Frankie's already got 1 out on just a couple of pitches, 3 pitches. Both of them throwing the ball great, no problem from the workhorse today.
Well, anybody who was climbing down off the bandwagon after the 18-10 game Monday, welcome back. The Rangers with the twin wins yesterday of 5-2. Now trying to salt this one away tonight. Close, but no. And Frankie wants a new baseball. Ruiz has had a couple of real good at-bats tonight, ending with a single and a home run. And here he works the count to 3-0. You've got Travis Snyder, the lefty, on deck. Walking Ruiz, and the tying man's coming up.
Rangers had retired 8 straight since Ruiz hit the home run. And you can go back a long ways after. Before that, 6 batters before that. Ruiz is the only one that's gotten on base in the last 4 innings. 5 innings, really.
Strike one to Snyder. A guy who's usually got a very aggressive approach. And when he makes contact, he's got some pretty decent power.
Rangers have retired 14 out of the last 16 hitters, and the 2 that have gotten on, Ruiz twice, the home run and the walk.
Tag to right field at the track. Ball game! Tommy Big Game Hunter wins a big one for the Rangers tonight on a night where the Red Sox are losing and the Angels have already lost.